that autumn wind. Shout out to the Raiders, man, we about to win.
Now use hashtag Raiders to have your questions featured live on the Raiders Report. I go live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you missed the show, turn on your notifications and make sure you guys are using hashtag Raiders to get your questions featured live on the show if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook. And remember, if I screw up one of your questions, I take a drink. And if you don't have a picture or I say get a picture, y'all take a drink. Let's go to Real Raider Champ. Chap. I guess that counts, right? All right. Get Blunt, Kerrigan, Swearinger, cost-effective, and will produce immediately. Yes. LeGarrette Blunt averaged 2.7 yards per carry. I'm not really crazy about LeGarrette Blunt. I would take C.J. Anderson over LeGarrette Blunt. Kerrigan, I think, would be an interesting option. I think we could get him actually pretty cheap in terms of trade assets, but you're still going to have to pay him over $10 million. And then Swearinger, I think I'd actually rather have Kerrigan. Let's go to Zellsbo 69. Where is Zay? So Zay Jones, the Raiders traded for him, what was that, during their bye week. And then he was an inactive player this past week. I expect Zay Jones to play. I think the reason why Zay didn't go out in the field is because he just ultimately wasn't comfortable with the playbook yet, and he wasn't ready to go. Was I a little bit disappointed that he wasn't ready to go? Yes, but that's where Zay Jones is. Let's go to Smooth Killa 2470. Get a picture. Mitch, why would you want to fire Paul G? Our D has been way better than when Ken Norton Jr. was our DC. But has it? I mean, the Raiders gave up the most points in the league last year, 32, and we're ranked, we've given up 27.5 points this year, 29th in the NFL. I mean, if it's worse than that, I don't really know what I'm even doing my show here for, because I'm not trying to be on the show to condone a defensive coordinator that's given up 29 and 30 second most points in the league. Like, that's why I put this on the show before. Should the Raiders fire Paul Guenther? F for fire, K for keep. Let me know in the comments section. Man, I don't come to work to be bad. I don't do this show. I don't tell you guys to unsubscribe. I tell you guys to subscribe because I'm going to bring it every single day. And between you and me, I don't really know if Paul Guenther's bringing it every day. I know John is. I know Mike Mayock will. But from what I've seen, I don't know if Paul's bringing it. Let's go to Jack. Jackie? Maybe? Jackie? What up? Jackie? What about Chirs Harris? Another player that I would absolutely love for the Raiders to get, right? I think Chirs Harris is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. But for the Raiders, in order to get a player from their division rival, you're going to have to give up a lot more. A lot more. And I think actually the best fit for Chirs Harris is actually going to be with the Philadelphia Eagles. In fact, a former teammate of the Philadelphia Eagles just said, I think a few hours ago, that the Eagles are going to trade for Chirs Harris. Sure, I would like him. It'd help us out. But I also want to see what we can get out of Trayvon Mullen. Let's go to Desmond Diaz. Ryan Shazier, anywhere close to being on the field. I think if Ryan Shazier were to come back, it would only be for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I think Ryan Shazier is one of the coolest stories that I've ever heard about in the NFL, about how a player who was told he's never going to walk again, now he's walking, and sure, he could actually have a chance of playing back in the NFL. But if I'm Ryan Shazier, the only team I suit up for is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, no, I don't think it's going to happen, but get a picture. Let's go to Ty. What up, Ty? Sorry, no pick. Take a drink. But you think we should try to trade for a cornerback, or we drafting? So I think one thing that we saw this past draft, the Raiders, they really believe that they can go out and find good cornerbacks. I don't really know in terms of depth how the cornerback position is looking like in the 2020 draft. You guys want to hit up a man, Tom Downey, at What Going Down? He's our draft expert here. But in terms of going out and trading for a cornerback, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see the Raiders really try to see what they have in Trayvon Mullen, and Keyshawn Nixon, and also Isaiah Johnson. So, but I don't know if I said it already, but get a picture. Jake Bishop with that super chat. What up, Jake? I'll take a drink for a super chat. Raiders should make a move on Jags defensive end. I think you're talking about Yannick Ngakoue, and I would tell you that you should go back and watch my video that I put out yesterday, where I have Yannick Ngakoue listed as a player that the Raiders should go out and target in a trade, because we're on the same page, Jake. We're on the same page. So who wants a shout out? Okay? Follow me on Instagram right now. If you want a shout out on the show, follow me on IG right now. So Paul Drills, Ceremony Nor 2006 Kid. Let's go to KIO, Todd Moser 2, Tony Nanger, Jason Hill, Dag, King Vic, L. Rogers 95. Chris, those are the people who I've gotten the last 36 minutes. Manish, appreciate you. If you want a shout out, give me a follow on IG right now. Gabe Herrera 04. See, I got you, and I appreciate you. Also, if you want a shout out, go to BetDSI. Oh my God, I almost choked on my words. BetDSI got me so excited because they're hooking me up with a 120% deposit bonus that I can't even speak. But seriously, if you guys like betting on sports, if you like betting on the Raiders, if you're a college football fan out there, BetDSI has hooked us up with the best deal out there. Like, I challenge you to find a better deal where a company's going to give you a 120% deposit bonus. So if you put down $50, get started at chatsports.com/bet, you get 60 for free. And then for the cherry on top, because we have a badass Raiders show here, I'm going to hook you up with a Raiders shirt from Raider Nation store. So, get started with BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Tell me that you got signed up and deposited on IG or Twitter. I'll get you a shirt from Raider Nation store. Sound good? Let's go. April showers bring Mayflowers. What about Sean Lee? Could possibly get him for cheap. I don't want Sean Lee. Sean Lee is a guy who I loved when he first came out of Penn State. He's just not healthy ever. And you want to talk about a player who's... I don't care that he's been healthy all year. April, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate your picture, but I do not want Sean Lee. But, hey, you know, overall it's a good question. He is a linebacker that the Raiders, or maybe that the Cowboys could ultimately give up, but not really a player that I want. Make sure you guys hit me up on IG or on Twitter, at MitchellRenz365, if you want that shout-out. Looks like we have another super chat from Jake. Okay. If you guys super chat me, I'll take a drink. Let's see here. Do you think we traded Conley cheap? I don't. I think when you look at it from the grand aspect of, wait, we drafted a player in the first round, and we only got a third-round pick, yes, you could say we lost the trade. However, look at what Garyon Conley has done this year, and if you could honestly tell me from watching the games that Garyon Conley has played good enough for us to get a third-round pick, I'll say he hasn't. I mean, he's seen 26 targets this year. He's given up 18 catches, 266 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I loved Garyon Conley coming in this year. I said he has a lot of upside. It just hasn't materialized. Up, dog? Manuel, what's up, man? Why aren't we trading for linebacker, wide receiver, or cornerback? Conley is gone. Are we still waiting for a big name? Are we giving up? If we have another losing season, is Carr gone? A lot of questions. Getting your money's worth, Manuel. I appreciate it. Are we trading for a linebacker, wide receiver, or cornerback? You'll see. I definitely think that the Raiders traded away Conley because now they have 3 third-rounders because they are going to make a big trade here coming up by the NFL trade deadline, which is October 29th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And if we have another losing season, is Carr gone? If you would have asked me this at the beginning of the year, I probably would have said yes. However, I think when you look at everything that Derek Carr has had to deal with again, not having Antonio Brown, the offensive line, we'll say issues with the injuries, plus Tyrell Williams going down, plus not having Zay Jones play a game. I mean, we've really had to lean on Derek, I think, a lot more than what people realize. So for me, I am not going to give up on Derek Carr after this year. Sorry. If you wanted a different answer, let me know. Would you give up on Derek Carr? Now, Raider Nation store, they hooked us up with some awesome t-shirts here. They got this black one. They got a white t-shirt. They got the Raiders 60 shirt that I always wear during game days. They got a whole bunch of tank tops. But for a limited time, if you want the flag that I'm holding in that picture, plus 260 patches, you got to go to RaiderNationStore.net and use the promo code Mitch20 for 20% off. Also, if you guys are going to Raiders Lions, hit me up. Tell me that you're going to go to that game. I'm going to have literally duffel bags full of Raiders gear to be given out. But the only way you're going to get it is if you follow Raider Nation Store on IG and if you're subscribed to the show. Sound good? Cool. Let's go to CC FI Fresno. Did I get that right? Get a picture, take a drink. Until the officiating bias against the Raiders is addressed and fixed by our league, our defensive rankings will not rise above 20th. Oh, boy. Okay. Do I think last week was a pretty rough game? Yes. Do I think that there is some sort of NFL bias towards the Raiders? I'm not quite sure on that one. But I do think the NFL needs to look in their officiating. That I will say. I think it's actually been pretty freaking bad this year. But I will say it's not as bad as what it was that one year where we had the replacement refs. It wasn't that bad. Get a picture. Eric. What up, Eric? What do you think is more of a need? Linebacker or defensive end? All right, Eric. I appreciate this question. And this show is all about the interaction, okay? So. Oh, man. That was a good burp. Linebacker or defensive end? Throw it in the comment section. LB or defensive end? Should the Raiders trade for a linebacker? Yes or no? Got a lot of different options there. So, LB or defensive end? What should the Raiders trade for? What's a bigger need? Eric wants to know. You don't have to answer it for me. Answer it for Eric, okay? Trade for a defensive lineman. Trade for a linebacker. I think right now the Raiders' still bigger need is defensive end. Unless we can find a linebacker who kind of played like what a Bruce Irvin's role was, just last year, where he was a linebacker. He could also play defensive end. I don't want to throw out a name, but we used to have a player who was really good who could play linebacker and defensive end. I think the Raiders, though, still need to be able to get after the quarterback because right now you can't have a quarterback sit back there all day. It doesn't matter who we have at linebacker. It doesn't matter who you have back at safety, cornerback. If you can't get after the quarterback and they have all day to throw, you're going to get picked apart. Let's go to Jerry East. Kidding. Clelin Ferrell, a bust so far. Has he been a bust so far? He hasn't lived up to the 4th overall pick. He dealt with a concussion. I also think, though, teams focused on him early on in the year, and teams are still focusing in on him. But when you go back and look at a lot of rookies, and you go back and look at certain, we'll say, like PFF grades, I do think they've actually kind of got it right on Clelin, where he has not been very effective. One of the reasons why I wanted the Raiders to go out and draft a player like Josh Allen, which you see now, Josh Allen has actually been doing very good. Clelin was a good player, and he's a great player. I just don't think he was a player that we should have drafted at 4 overall. Let's go to One Life T. Olive. Did I get that? Get a picture? One life to live. Oh my God. You can't make this up. All right, get a picture. Parentheses. Arden Key needs to be traded. Who's going to trade for Arden Key? What could we even get? I don't even know if we could get a picture for Arden Key at this point. Oh, man, he's got 1 sack his entire career. He's not been very good. I think right now, if anybody would give us, honestly, a 6th-round pick for Arden Key, that'd be a win. But I don't even know if a team gives us a 6th-round pick for Arden Key. I mean, he had a lot of off-the-field issues. Hasn't been good. Been a little bit of a head case. So, guys, I just don't think it's going to happen. So, sorry if I missed any of your questions. If I missed any of your questions, hit me up on IG or Twitter at MitchellRenz365. And if anybody's going to Raiders versus Lions, let's meet up. So I'm going to be at Ricky's Sports Theater and Grill, okay? Saturday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. I'm literally coming in for my flight. And if you want to come grab a beer with me, you want to come hang out, chit-chat about the Raiders, I might even be doing some stuff on my IG for the Raiders show. So if you want to meet up, go to Ricky's Sports Theater and Grill on Saturday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be hanging out there with the nation. Got some free drinks there. And also going to be chit-chatting with y'all, get some food. Make sure you guys subscribe at youtube.com/RaidersReport. And I'm going to say it one more time. If I missed any of your questions, hit me up on IG or on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. Raider Nation, I love you. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.